Okay, so I've got the room set up as basic as I can get it. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a few props, and I think I'm going to start with some lighting. So what I'm going to do is come over and go to New and open up a standard IPT. Now the next thing I'm going to stress is I'm not particularly interested in making good components at this part. I'm interested in making components that look good, because we're trying to show off another product. I'm going to spend in any project at least 3/4 of my time building that. I don't particularly want to spend excess time making perfect lamps. I want lamps that are going to look good from the angle I intend to view them from and all the rest, but that's about as far as I want to go. So I'm going to set this to about 450. It's going to be the base of my lamp. It's going to come off the ground, I think. I'm still planning this one out. So let's go up 120. And I'm going to put a chamfer onto this edge of considerably more than that. That should work for me. I'm now going to fillet this edge by that, and this edge by that as well. This is going to be as chrome as I can make it. Let's just see what we've got in here. Oh, gold would be interesting. Yeah, okay, that'll do for now. So let's put a sketch onto here. Now, how do I want to do this? I'm going to have a circle that goes out 100. This is going to go up very slightly. Not that much. That can work for me. Let's chamfer this. No, let's not chamfer this. Tough choices. Not that much. That much. And then again, fillet here and here. I don't want those fillets to be that big, they're not going to work for me. Better. Now I'm going to go into the origin and find one of these planes, and really I'd like to work off that plane. Let's just try a few things here. So let's go with a... I don't know if I want an arc or a spline. Cannot decide. Something like... that. Try that again. There's not really many scientific ways to get the perfect shape for this. It's really what you want to get yourself. Now, next thing I'm going to do is come on to here. Start a sketch on this. Yes, create sketch, thank you. Let's try a sweep of that on that path. try and be careful here. So 150. Going to extrude this out, and we're going to use the angle here. I think that's going to work. Oh, it doesn't like that. No valid loop. What are you whinging about? Now what I was expecting to be able to do there is use that as a sketch, which you normally can do in Inventor, but doesn't seem to like that. Okay, not a big deal. I'll just do that and then I'll draw a circle on top of it. That's odd. It's not the way I was expecting things to work. Now it will obey me. Okay, fair enough. Because normally what I'd have been able to do there was to just instantly put a sketch onto a surface, which was something I really liked about Inventor, but for some reason it does not want to do that. So that's fine, and I want it out that far. I think I want it out about 55. And then I'm going to put a sketch onto this. I'm going to offset this in. Oops. Let's go for 170. And then extrude this back in. And that as well, please. Okay, let's just check the top is the top, which it is. Let's put this to a position that pleases me. About there. Set current view as home, fixed distance. So there's my lamp. Now I'm thinking of this as quite a big lamp to go on the floor, but proportion wise we're not really going to find out till we drop it in. So let's do this. So we'll do save as floor lamp. Let's just call it 001 because there may be more than one. And let's import this. And it's upside down. Let's just bring in a couple. That way around, please. Let's try that again. Constrain this surface to this one. That way around. It does not want to behave. Please behave. So where exactly is it? It's on the other side of there. Okay, just to prove a point, let's constrain this to here. It does want to do that. However, I do not want to do that. I want to constrain that to that surface. Aha, there we go. Why it was being silly there, I have no idea. So that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm going for a lamp for a bed to read, or maybe possibly for a, like beside a couch or something like that. Well, they are behaving now. That's good of them. Now, I'm probably going to place these manually. I'm not going to get overly upset about placing these in an exact point. But that's my furniture started. Put those over there for now. Now let's create something else. So the next thing I'm going to do is some sort of desk. Now I don't want to be too fancy about it, I just want a desk that's going to be functional. More to get the proportion right. If I think the desk is wonderful, I might keep it, but I'm really quite concerned about making sure my proportions are correct. You really don't get that until you've got a few bits of furniture in there, really. So let's go for something about 700 high. That's roughly what my desk at the moment is. And wide will go, so I'm going with D for dimension. Obviously dimension's up here if you don't know where that is. By about 1.5 meters. That's an angry dog behind me barking at whoever's out there. How dare they walk past our window. Okay, so there we go, there's 700 high, 1500 wide. Let's change this back to line. And let's try something like 200 this way. Typing L for line. 200 this way. And I'm really just trying interesting shapes here. In fact, this is quickly not becoming a desk, this is becoming a sort of a cupboard unit. Let's go for 930. Let's extrude this section only. We'll go up by 0.5 meter. Let's go by a little less than that. Put a rectangle on top of here and see if we can't offset this by about 20. And about 20 high. Those little lips are some of the most important little, just a tiny bit on top of the table, something overhanging, whatever. They're the most important part of all this. In fact, I should really take this back. I shouldn't have put this out here, I forgot that. No, I didn't want that sketch. Go away. I want to sketch on there, that's better. I shouldn't have had this overhanging at the back. Getting reference material for this sort of thing is really not very difficult. All over the internet. Just wander into a furniture shop and just ask for their last couple of catalogues or even older catalogues and just rip them apart and find out things that are useful. I'm doing this very vaguely at the moment, as you can probably tell. And again, I'm not making these as individual components because I simply don't need to. So let's put a dimension between here and here of 15. Let's set a dimension here of 15. Don't do that. Thank you. Okay, one last time there and there. There we go. 15. Now, I'm having to use a double click. I'm going to go and change that later. And I will explain how if I remember. Shockingly enough, let's make this 15 and make this 30. Does give me a midpoint, which is nice. And let's mirror this, and this across this mirror line, apply, done. Just trying to think of interesting ways of doing these feet. I could just extrude them down, that's very boring. So let's put a line across here. That should do. Is that halfway? Didn't say midpoint, but it kind of looks halfway. Okay, so let's mirror this across that mirror line, apply, done. Now let's see how horrible this is to extrude. Please behave. Just you. No, okay, fine. I'll go change the sketch a little bit. I had my suspicions, so I'm using X to get rid of these. X or trim. I want to say cut, but it is trim with Inventor. Let's see how this behaves. Extrude, yes. Extrude. Now, to be honest, you probably won't see these, but the fact that this edge is not touching the ground will make it more believable, and I might put another set over here, but I'm only going to do that if I definitely see these. To be honest, from that angle we'll barely see them. That would be much more complete if we actually did do it that way, but never mind. Okay, so at the front, let's put a sketch onto this. Now, I'd really like to be able to put a nice offset just off that surface, and the way Inventor is working currently, it's being a bit annoying. Let's try... it only gives it off that, does it? Okay. Let's try project geometry off that surface. It's because I clicked on the two separately, that's fine. So let's go for 20, enter. Let's extrude this, finish sketch, extrude. And I can't decide whether I want to go in the way or out the way. Let's go out the way. I was going to go in, but I think out looks fine. Now, because I've done it that way, what it allows me to do is do a little bit more cheating, because I want to really get into a bit more speed here. You have to treat props with the disdain they deserve, and what I mean by that is, if I'm trying to show off let's project geometry off that surface, there we go. if you are being paid to model a super duper chair and we're using a certain amount of hours being paid to do that, I want to spend a majority of those hours on the chair. I don't want to spend a majority of those hours on the furniture to show off the chair, because if I do use more hours than I should, it will show off, and this will annoy the client, quite reasonably so. So it's very important to use as little time as we can to do things like this, to be as modular as we can, and to be as organized as we can, and have a lot of different props to be able to use in these situations. You don't really want to make props like this for every situation. You want to have just one set that you use to them all. You don't want to build them individually for every set you make, because that is wasting time. And CAD is a winner because it is fast. And I think as far as props go, that's fine for the moment. I might put handles on later, but it depends how much, it really depends how much attention this is going to get, and I intend it to get very, very little. Let's put this through the middle. And let's just put a line out this way by 10, and in fact by 5, because we're going for the middle. That did not work. There we go. Let's extrude this in. Okay, it wants to misbehave. Edit this sketch. Let's remove this. There definitely is a line there. There we go. Now that's not halfway, so we're going to make sure it is halfway by mirroring that feature around that plane, and now that is halfway. And we'll call this couch. No, it's not a couch. Unit 001. Go back into here and place Unit 001 upside down, which is a horrible idea. So please constrain U to U. Apply. And we're starting to get going with the furniture.